Welcome to another edition of the Sundown series, where today we will be talking about Pierce City, Missouri. Pierce City, formerly known as Pierce City, and by that the spelling is different, is a city in southwest Lawrence and northwest Berry counties in southwest Missouri, United States. The population was 1,292 at the 2010 census. In 2010, the town annexed property along Route 97 into Berry County to a point just north of U.S. Route 60. It was estimated to be 1,309 by the city of Pierce City as of July 1st, 2019. There was once a small village called St. Martha and about 2.5 miles west of Pierce City. It was surveyed for William Robert Wild on Section 30 Pierce Township, May 9th, 1870. Wild committed suicide there on June 8th, 1870. Nothing remains of the village. On August 19th, 1901, a large white mob took 3 African American men from jail in Pierce City and lynched them. French and William Godley and Peter Hampton were suspects in the murder of a young white woman. Are y'all noticing the parallels here? Every time a black man was lynched back then, it's always the accusation of them either killing or raping a white woman. That's usually the consensus. Seems like not much has changed over the years, but that was the obvious thing, because they had, see, like I said, that big black boogeyman theory, they were kicking that up way back when. In that movie, Birth of a Nation, the original one, that crap was literally the canon right there that they needed. 2 of the men were quite aged and were unlikely suspects. None had a chance at trial. These are the only recorded lynchings in Lawrence County. Unrest continued and the white mob burned 5 black homes and drove 30 families into the woods, affecting roughly 300 black residents in the town. It had about 1,000 white residents. Most of the African Americans lost all of their land and property. Whites simply took over their empty properties. And see, that's what they did in order to gain control of black economies and black property. Because all they had to do was, they did this to a white woman, then they have a reason to go to the town, burn it down, and then take over it. That was how they did it. I forgot who that was that said the last trick that a white man would use would be his woman. Hearing stories like this is exactly what they meant. This was part of a pattern of violence in southwest Missouri in the early 20th century. There were also large public lynchings in Joplin and Springfield, resulting in many African Americans abandoning the region for less hostile territory. Manette, Pierce City, Rogers, Arkansas, and several other towns around here have driven Negroes out. By 1910, only 91 African Americans remained in Lawrence County, and their numbers continued to decline. The incident has considered an act of ethnic cleansing. That's a term right there that TBA uses a lot. In reaction, Mark Twain wrote the essay The United States of Lyncherdom, which was published posthumously. In the 21st century, some descendants of the people who had been driven out of Pierce City threatened to file a lawsuit for the city's failure to protect their families and to recover the value of their families' properties, but none has been filed, and that's probably a dead-on-arrival type of movement, unfortunately. There had been other grassroots efforts to acknowledge these crimes and injustices. As of the 2010 census, the racial makeup of the town is 95.9% white, 0.8% Native American, 0.2% Asian, 1.8% from other races, 1.3% from 2 or more races, Hispanic or Latino. Of any race was 4.6% of the population. And there are currently, as of right now, not one black person living in this city. And that's no surprise, considering that paragraph or 2 that I just read about the lynchings that happened in this town. And like I said, the catalyst was always the rape or the murder, alleged rape and murder of a white woman. And usually it was a white woman. If that happened to her, it was at the hands of another white person or another white man, if that actually happened. But they always blamed it on the black man, because they needed a reason to go and terrorize, and that was the reason. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next one.